Imagine this, one of the most critical trade routes in the world, one that connects two oceans and powers global commerce, slipping further from US influence into the hands of foreign powers. What if the country that built it, funded it, and controlled it for decades suddenly wanted it back? President-elect Donald Trump is making waves once again, this time with a controversial proposition: reclaim the Panama Canal. But can America really take it back? At what cost? And is there more to this story than meets the eye? Stay tuned, because today we're diving into the fiery debate over sovereignty, global trade, and Trump's bold claims about the canal's future. The Panama Canal is making headlines once again, but not for its engineering marvel or role in global trade. Instead, it's a statement from President-elect Donald Trump that has reignited a decades-old debate about sovereignty, international commerce, and America's role on the global stage. Trump has openly called for the United States to reclaim control of the Panama Canal, a waterway it relinquished to Panama over 2 decades ago. His reasoning: economic interests, national security concerns, and accusations of foreign influence, most notably from China. This bold stance is being met with both applause and criticism. Supporters argue that Trump's plan could restore American dominance over a critical maritime route. Detractors, however, warn of the global diplomatic fallout and question the feasibility of such a move. In today's video, we'll break down the history of the Panama Canal, Trump's arguments for taking it back, Panama's response, and the global ramifications of such a controversial proposition. To understand the gravity of Trump's comments, we need to take a journey back in time. The Panama Canal, often referred to as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, was constructed by the United States in the early 20th century. Completed in 1914 after immense engineering and human effort, the canal created an essential shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. For decades, it was a symbol of American ingenuity and a testament to U.S. global influence. But the canal also carried political baggage. Its location in Panama, a country over which the United States exerted significant influence, became a point of contention. Panamanians grew resentful of what they saw as American colonialism on their soil. This tension came to a head in the 1960s and 70s, culminating in the signing of the Torrijos-Carter Treaties in 1977. These agreements, signed by U.S. President Jimmy Carter and Panamanian leader Omar Torrijos, set the stage for the gradual transfer of the canal to Panama, a process completed in 1999. For Panama, this transfer was a long overdue recognition of its sovereignty. For the U.S., it was a diplomatic move designed to foster better relations in Latin America. But critics in the U.S. argued that relinquishing control of such a strategic asset was a grave mistake. Now, decades later, Trump is reviving that sentiment and questioning whether America ever should have let the canal go. So what exactly is Trump arguing? According to recent statements, he believes the U.S. is paying excessive fees for American vessels to pass through the canal. He also claims that the canal has become vulnerable to foreign influence, particularly from China. Trump's rhetoric around China is nothing new. He has consistently warned against what he calls Chinese encroachment in key global markets and infrastructure. The Panama Canal is no exception. Reports suggest that Chinese firms have been involved in port expansions and other investments near the canal, fueling Trump's fears of diminished U.S. influence. Economically, Trump claims that reclaiming control of the canal would save the U.S. billions in trade costs and strengthen national security. The Panama Canal is not just a trade route, it's a strategic asset that should be under American control, he recently stated in an interview. But critics question whether Trump's motives are purely strategic or if they're tied to his broader America First agenda. Is this about strengthening U.S. power, or is it a symbolic move to reclaim a piece of history? Panama has not taken Trump's statements lightly. President José Raúl Mulino and other officials have strongly pushed back, defending their country's stewardship of the canal. They argue that the Panama Canal Authority, PCA, an autonomous organization responsible for managing the waterway, operates transparently and efficiently. Panama has also emphasized the importance of the canal's neutrality. The Torrijos-Carter Treaties ensured that the canal would remain open to all nations under fair terms. Panamanian officials insist that their management honors these principles and that there is no undue foreign influence, as Trump has alleged. In fact, The canal's financial success under Panamanian control is a point of pride. The PCA has reportedly generated billions in revenue, much of which has been reinvested into Panama's economy. Losing control of the canal, they argue, would not only be a blow to national sovereignty, but also to the country's economic future. Trump's call to reclaim the Panama Canal has raised eyebrows, not just in Panama but around the world. For one, it would likely lead to significant diplomatic fallout in Latin America, where U.S. interventions have historically been viewed with suspicion. China, too, would likely see such a move as a direct challenge. While Chinese firms do not control the canal itself, their investments in nearby infrastructure have been substantial. Any attempt by the U.S. to reassert control could escalate tensions between the two superpowers, adding another layer to the already complex U.S.-China relationship. Economically, reclaiming the canal could have far-reaching consequences. The global trade community relies on the canal's neutrality to ensure fair and efficient passage for vessels from all nations. A shift in control could disrupt this balance, leading to higher shipping costs and potential trade conflicts. And then there's the legal question. How would the U.S. even go about reclaiming the canal? The Torrijos-Carter treaties are internationally recognized agreements. Attempting to override them would likely face significant legal and diplomatic challenges. The Panama Canal has always been more than just a waterway. It's a symbol of engineering brilliance, a linchpin of global trade, and a flashpoint for debates about sovereignty and power. Trump's call to reclaim the canal has reignited these debates, forcing us to ask tough questions about America's role in the world and the balance of global influence. Is this a bold move to protect U.S. interests, or is it a dangerous overreach that could destabilize international relations? As the world watches this story unfold, one thing is clear: the Panama Canal remains as important and as contentious as ever. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think? Should the U.S. take back control of the Panama Canal, or is this a step too far?